This is John Clay, sports columnist for the Lexington Herald-Leader, along with UK football beat writer Josh Moore. We're here at Kroger Field where Kentucky defeated Louisville 45-13 in the annual Governor's Cup game. Josh, what's your impression as Kentucky finishes the regular season 7-5? What'd you take away from today?
Yeah, you saw that Kentucky was able to Vanderbilt, UT Martin, you pound them into the ground. Okay, you kind of expected.
You weren't impressed by that?
Impressed, but you kind of hope that you would do that when you've committed so much to this offense, and then you come in and do it against a Louisville team that hadn't fared too well, defensively, but still, is a Power 5 team, your biggest rival, a team that was coming in obviously off last year, had played so much better this year than they did last year overall, and you whooped them last year, and you really, in some ways whooped them even worse this year. You could say, they just really. Clearly you set another single game rushing record, set the season record for rushing. I don't know how much you can really say other than what you're looking at is a team that, almost could have fallen completely off the map, not gone to a bowl this year, and they've, guaranteed themselves another winning season under Mark Stoops, and, they've done it, a way I don't think anyone could have drawn up coming into 2019 at all.
Yeah, to me, that's one of the big takeaways. One takeaway is that this was supposed to be an even game. Kentucky was a 3-point favorite. You figured that was because of the home field advantage. Kentucky ends up beating them by 32, totally dominated them, 517 rushing yards for a school record.
And it wasn't even really as close as the score was, really. Without that last 20 seconds there in the first half, you're looking at a double-digit game at halftime, and Kentucky had at least two, and maybe you could argue three possessions there in the first half where they should have gotten some points.
Yeah.
It was really. There's Louisville. I think Louisville is in a place where they're going to be able to stay where they were, keep going to bowls themselves, and be a good program, especially in the ACC. But there is a gap there a little bit that maybe we wasn't as distinguishable for today.
Right. But Kentucky, as you mentioned, this is a team that was 2-3 that had lost not just their returning starting quarterback in Terry Wilson, but their backup in Sawyer Smith that made the decision off week before the Arkansas game to move Lynn Bowden to quarterback, and that pretty much saved the season. They ended up going 5-2 after that with a guy in an offense where everybody in the world in the stadium knew what was coming, including the opponent, and they still couldn't stop them. This has to be, I would think, for Mark Stoops and Eddie Grant, this has to be a special season just in the way they were able to accomplish what they've accomplished.
Oh, absolutely, and I think it's got to be. I would, I won't speak for him, but for me, it would be the most maybe gratifying season because you're not only coming in, with the expectations that you set last year, and people saying, okay, you can't do that. It was just those guys, like you lost all those, you graduated all those seniors, five defensive backs that were all starter, caliber guys. You've got so much to replace. Okay, if you go to a ball game, fine. Right. Okay. That's reasonable success. That's what I thought. I thought before the season started, before Terry Wilson got hurt, before everything else happened that just transpired this season, I thought 7-5 was if you hit 7-5, there's no reason to complain. Right. And then after
the way they did,
and then the way it broke down, and you're at that crossroads before the Arkansas week and that bye week, and you look at the bye week now and say, well, it came at the perfect time because if you were going to make a change, you at least had the 2 weeks there to figure it out. But now you kind of look at it, it's like, well, what would have happened if you'd been right after Terry got hurt and maybe you try to, but they probably wouldn't have done it. They probably would have rolled with Sawyer, and then you're kind of stuck, and you go into Arkansas, and so it's just it almost worked out perfectly the beats of the season to let Kentucky free itself up to get creative. And Mark Stoops talked about Eddie Graham being the biggest advocate for Lynn. It seems like Eddie gets the biggest most of the crap from people out there online, and some of it's probably deserved, but a lot of it's probably not. And especially this year, it seems like he's been the guy that's been championing Bowden and behind the scenes, and he might know what he's talking about.
Right. And now it's for, as Mark Stoops said, it's on the recruiting trail. He leaves tomorrow to go on the recruiting trail. Said the staff has his schedule timed out almost to the minute over the next 2 weeks leading up to signing day. Then it's the bowl game after that. So still some important stuff going on for Kentucky football, even though the regular season is over.
Absolutely. Vince Marrow said they're going up to Ohio to watch some guys play in the championship games. I think Thursday is what he said, and this the Kentucky State Championships are here at Kroger Field next weekend. So they'll be here watching some guys. Said they'd get out to Louisville. What a better time than this week to fresh in the memory. So should be I would expect it to be. I mean, a lot of it's going to be locking up. Just seeing good guys that they want to just keep firm in the commitments. But they'll probably maybe they'll get a commitment or two coming out of this weekend and keep signing days. Probably less than 3 weeks away now. So.
Right, to keep that momentum going. So there'll be plenty more coverage. Be sure and check it out in the print edition of the Lexington Herald-Leader and on Kentucky.com.